Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I am Diego, and we are going to blow apart Sex and the City again today. That's right, Sex and the City. Okay, that show that was on in the late 90s and the early 2000s was all about girls doing it, and just out there having unprotected sex, all the goddamn time. They're in their mid 30s, no kids, none of them been married. They're just out there boning away in the city. Yeah, it was a while ago. Anyway, it was a popular show. I liked the show a lot. I actually really did enjoy the show. That's why I'm doing these reviews. I decided that I was going to review every single episode of Sex and the City, all 94 episodes, and both movies. And yes, I own all of them. Okay. Now it's been a long time since I've seen every episode. I mean, that's a lot to fucking on TV to watch. But I watched the show originally when it first came out on HBO. Excuse me. So I watched it during that time. So I was there like everyone else. Okay. The reason I watched the show is because all the girls I knew, all the pretty girls I knew, were watching that show, and they would talk about it the next day. So I was working in Chicago, in downtown Chicago, and I would come into work like on a Monday, and like all the girls would be talking about the episode because the show used to come out every Sunday. You had to wait a week for the next episode. All right, on HBO. So we would talk about it and stuff, and I was like the only straight guy that was talking about the show. And a lot of people actually cared what I had to say because. We weren't getting the straight guy's opinion back then. Straight guys were not watching this show. None of my straight friends were watching this show, okay? Unless they were like laying down with their girlfriend. Their girlfriend was watching. They watched a couple of episodes. They knew a little bit about it. But for the most part, none of my straight guys watched the show regularly. They didn't know who the fuck was going on. Okay, we all watched Sopranos. That was our show, okay? The girls watched fucking The Sex and the City. All right, but I did watch the show. So I knew who all the characters were. I knew what was going on in all their lives. I knew all their personalities, and I knew what was coming up. So when they decided to revive Sex and the City with that piece of shit show that we just survived, and Just Like Crap, which I reviewed already on this channel, if you want to watch it, I decided that I would go back in time a little bit, okay, till back when I was younger, in my 20s. And when I used to watch the show, because I was young and hot to trot back then. I was like these women. I was also sexually active back at that time, and I was dating her. Like I said, I was younger. I didn't have a child yet or anything like that. I wasn't married, so I was a little hot to trot back then too. And I lived in a big city, so I went to a lot of restaurants, fine dining restaurants, nightclubs, operas, theaters. I mean, the Chicago theater was right around the corner from my job. It was right around the corner from my job, the big Chicago theater. Okay, so so I was surrounded by a lot of culture. Museums, the art institutes, the planetariums, the aquariums. If you ever seen a picture of Chicago, Navy Pier with the big Ferris wheel. All that stuff was right around where I worked. Okay, the river, it's all right there. House of Blues. So like I spent a lot of time going bar hopping with my friends and stuff. The stuff you do when you're in your 20s. You hang out with your friends, you get drunk, and you fuck. Okay. Sorry if I know. Hey, straight man's point of view. This show's all about a straight man's point of view. So I'm gonna tell you the honest God truth. Straight up, baby. And if you can't handle it, then you can't handle it. All right, I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth from a straight man's point of view, okay? I'm going to give you something you never got before. A straight guy is going to tell you about this show from a straight guy's point of view. What was bullshit and what was realistic, okay? And this episode is loaded with a lot of good shit, so let's get into it. All right, the episode that we're going to review today is Season 3, Episode 10. Episode 10 of Season 3, okay? So this is like in 2000. This is like in the... I want to say in the late summer of 2000, this episode aired. Okay, yeah, before September 11th, yeah, a long time ago. Okay, so the title of this episode is called All or Nothing. All or Nothing. Okay, so Carrie and Aiden, they're kissing and stuff, whatever. She's going to go out on a trip with the girls. All right, well, I guess they're not going to hang out that night. She's going to go hang out with the girls at Samantha's new apartment, okay, which she just moved into a couple episodes ago. Okay, well, she's finally inviting the girls over there. I guess she's finally moved in now, completely. So she goes over there, but she feels guilty. She keeps having flashbacks about the other night when she fucked big. Yeah, she cheated on Aiden, okay, last episode. At the end of last episode, she cheated on him. After he fucking spent, after he did about $5,000 to $8,000 worth of furniture, remodeling her apartment. He stripped her whole apartment, okay, and redid the floors, okay. He spent all day doing that, and while he was doing that for her for free, she was out there fucking big. Yeah, even though he's married, yeah, exactly, yeah. So she's kind of feeling guilty about it, but I don't think she's losing any sleep over it, okay. So anyway, you know, she's up. So she's partying with the girls. They're all fucking drinking their goddamn Cosmos in Sam's new loft. Okay. And they're talking, okay, they're bragging about shit, you know. She's bragging about the delivery service, you know, which was like what Uber Eats was, you know, today. Well, I guess that was brand new back then. I mean, remember, this is like 2000, okay? So shit like DoorDash and shit, that was brand fucking new. Amazon Prime, okay? They weren't around back then, but there were some places offered delivery services. Well, they'll deliver your groceries to you, that kind of thing, you know. And she's bragging about how she has that because, like, this show set a lot of trends, okay? Like, a lot of the stuff that we hear, that we learned about new technology and new services, we learned it from watching this show, okay? Because they were on top of everything that was brand new. New York gets everything before everyone else does, okay? So, you know, when they get something, you know, then everyone else gets it, okay? And they set the trend for a lot of the stuff, you know, and they also did a lot of product placement. So, you know, so the show would always name drop shit. And once you heard about it on the show, then you would go research it yourself to find out what it was, you know, because you wanted it too. Okay, but this show is really big on that. Okay, so now they're like breaking into the whole fucking DoorDash and Uber Eats industry, which is big now, especially because of the pandemic. But back then it was brand new. Yeah. All right, so she's bragging about that. There's a guy that delivers me my condoms. And the condoms got here a lot faster than it took him to come here. Yeah, that kind of shit, you know. Whatever. Anyway, so that's going on. It's a great apartment. So, you know, it's a great apartment. Samantha starts bragging because she's drunk and shit. You know, oh, we have it all. Strong, empowered women, right? We have it all. Great food, great job, great apartment, great sex. And she opens the window. She opens the fucking window, okay? And she sticks her head out the window of her loft and she screams out into the air, Manhattan, we have it all. And then someone up there says, fuck you. She's like, you wish. Because that's what I would have fucking said. If I heard a fucking drunk bitches screaming about how great they are, how they have everything. Can you imagine this playing in 2022? Can you imagine that? Just a bunch of rich white women screaming about how they have everything? You know, can you imagine how that would play out? As straight white women, how that would play out in New York, screaming about how they have everything. Yeah, it wouldn't play out. Or maybe it would. Who the fuck knows? All they have to do is say that fucking one of them's lesbian, then fucking they'll let them get away with anything. All right, but anyway. Oh, yeah. Yeah, now they retconned it, so one of them is lesbian now. Go figure. Well, I wouldn't say lesbian. I'd say, what's that word about people that fuck monsters? Yeah, that's what she is. Yeah, she fucks monsters. Okay, so, yeah. So Charlotte tells Samantha, you know, all of this great everything means nothing unless you have someone to love. Someone to share it with. Okay. Later, Carrie, after the other girls leave, it's just Carrie and Samantha. And Carrie's helping Samantha clean up. And Samantha tells her, go home, Carrie. I'll take care of all this. She's like, no, I need to talk to you. Okay, and there's a reason she's talking to Samantha and not the other girls, okay? Not Miranda and not Charlotte. Well, she never tells Charlotte anything. But there's a reason she's not talking to Miranda, okay? She confesses to Samantha that she fucked a pig the other day. Okay, and the reason she did it is because she knew that Samantha, now later on we find out that Samantha's not going to judge her. Okay, but I already knew that. Okay, there's someone, if you did something shady like that, Samantha's the girl you're going to tell it to because she's not going to judge you, especially with all the shit she's fucking done. I mean, she's eating out assholes, okay? I don't know how the fuck you get worse than that, okay? And I don't mean like she's eating out a guy that was an asshole. I mean, she's eating out a literal asshole. Like a guy spread his cheeks and she fucking ate it. Yeah, okay, so I don't know how you recover from that, okay? So yeah, if you got someone you want to confess your dirty shit to, then yeah, that would be her. So she tells her, oh, what was it? She doesn't say like, well, what about Aiden? She said like, well, was it any good? She's like, it was great, and it's never gonna happen again. She's like, oh God, don't beat yourself up. He hasn't told you he loves you. You're still a free agent. You can do whatever you want. And she's like, I don't want to be a free agent. Yeah. Samantha tells, you know what you did is no different than what men have been doing for centuries. Get the fuck out of here. Bullshit flag number one. Okay, now Samantha, I know you're all fucking empowered and you think you invented sex and you think that you're the master of it, okay? Like you're the only woman that's ever fucking had great sex in her life. Let me tell you something, you fucking bitch. Okay? Yes, men have been fucking around women. You know how long they've been doing it? As long as women have been fucking around men. It's never fucking changed, okay? It's always been that way, okay? You could even say Adam and Eve if you believe in the fucking Bible. Adam and Eve, you really think that she just took an apple from that snake? There's a reason it was a fucking snake to begin with, okay? She fucked that. She fucked Satan, okay? She fucked Satan and God punished them for it. That's what fucking happened. Okay? If you want to get biblical. That's what I'm not religious, I'm not Christian, but that's what I think happened, okay? So yes, cheating's been going on since the beginning of humanity. It has always gone on, okay? Women have always been fucking over men, just like men have always been fucking over women. It's not a guy thing, it's not a woman thing, all right? Y'all keep talking about fucking King Henry VIII. Well, what about all the fucking lovers the fucking Catherine the Great had executed? What about all the fucking boyfriends that she killed? What about Queen Elizabeth and all the fucking boyfriends that she killed? Okay? You never talk about that because that would be considered sexist. But you always talk about Henry VIII, how he chopped off his wife's heads and shit. Get the fuck out of here. This has always happened. It has always fucking happened. Women have always fucked over men. Men have always fucked over women. It's not something fucking that was invented a couple of fucking centuries ago. All right? So tired of this fucking shit. Oh yeah, if you cheat on your husband, it's okay because men have been cheating on their wives. No, bull fucking shit. Some men cheat on their wives. Some women cheat on their wives. On their husbands, sorry. Okay? That has always fucking happened. It's always been that way. It's not something fucking new. Women cheating on their boyfriends is not anything fucking new. It's been going on since humanity began. All right. Moving right along. Okay, so Carrie says, like, I don't want to be a free agent. And of course, Samantha doesn't judge her. Okay, moving along. Carrie is knocking on Aiden's door at 3 o'clock, 4 in the morning, because that's what she fucking does. She doesn't call and say, hey, I need to come over and talk to you. She just fucking bangs on your fucking door at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when you're trying to fucking sleep. Carrie does that all the fucking time. Nobody ever calls her out on it, but she always fucking does that shit. She did it to Big. She's done it to everybody, honestly. She does it to her girlfriends too. Okay? And she kisses them or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, he has to go to Pennsylvania for a couple of days. He has to deliver some furniture that he sold. He's got to take it there himself. So he's got to load it onto his truck and go to Pennsylvania. Of course, Carrie's afraid of him leaving. She doesn't want him to leave because she knows damn well that if he leaves, she's probably going to fuck Big again. All right? So Aiden's like the only thing grounding her from fucking Big. Okay, which right there, this is a bad relationship. Okay, it really is. And I'm actually more pissed off at Aiden than I am at Carrie. Okay, I already know Carrie's a promiscuous fucking slut. I like her, but I already knew that. Okay, she's not gonna turn down a fucking cock if she wants it. All right, I already knew that. All right, she's not the kind of girl that would be like, I really want to fuck you, but I'm not going to because no, she'll fuck a guy that she's attracted to. So I'm not worried about that. What I'm upset about is Aiden. The fact that he is completely oblivious to his girlfriend. Now, I know she's lying to him and hiding it, okay? But why the fuck is he not, more aware? I know she's trying to fucking, but, I would have said something, okay? Now, Aiden's supposed to be perfect and even-tempered, mild-mannered, all that kind of shit. But, like, I would have had a problem with a girl knocking on my door at 4 in the morning. I would have had a problem with that, okay? I would want to know what my girlfriend's going to be doing while I'm gone for 3 days in Pennsylvania. Okay, I'd want her to check in with me or something, I'd call her or something, find out what's going on, what she's got planned. I'm not just going to leave her alone for 3 days, okay? I want to know what she's going to be doing for those 3 days. You see what I mean? Just little things like that. And he's not doing any of that. So he's just like all about trust. He doesn't say it, but he's just like all about fucking, oh, yeah, absolutely. Whatever you say, I trust you 100%. Yes. That kind of bullshit. And just like, I know he's a nice guy and they're writing him that way. But I would have been a little bit more aware of my surroundings, a little bit more aware of what's going on. I would have wanted to know, like, what did she do that night when I was, redoing her apartment? What was she doing? Did she see anybody? What room was she in? Really? I could have called her at that hotel and checked up on her, that kind of thing. Or when I was done, I could have spent the night at that hotel with her. Yeah. Why spend the night at a fucking in her room or my apartment when she already got a nice hotel in a nice apartment? I'd be knocking on her fucking door at 4 in the morning. Hey, I finished the apartment, sweetheart. And then find it. See what I mean? And he's not doing any of that stuff. And don't tell me he's never been cheated on before. I'm pretty sure he has. Okay, so like he should already. This should be within the realm of possibility for him. Okay, that these are possible situations, possible scenarios that are going on right now, and he's completely unaware of. Okay. Meanwhile, Samantha has the flu. She wakes up. She's fucking sick as shit. She knocks down her curtain, accidentally, and she's all fucking pissed off. So she's calling all these people, all these guys, all her fuck buddies, to come over and put her curtain back up. And they're all fucking turning her down. They're just like, what? She's like, well, are you giving me a blowjob? She said, no, I can't give you a blowjob. I'm sick. Oh, yeah, well, I don't want to get sick either. So no one's coming to help her out. When she needs help, she starts calling guys. She doesn't call her girlfriends, which is kind of weird. Why doesn't she call Charlotte or Miranda or Carrie? No, she's calling all her fuck buddies. Come over here and help me. I'm sick right now. I need someone to go up there and put my curtain back up. And everyone's rejecting her, okay? Is it believable? Can you honestly tell me that Samantha doesn't know anybody that would do this for her? Really? Nobody? I mean, it doesn't have to be somebody she's fucking. It could just be a friend or something, No? Really? I find that hard to believe, but yeah, apparently all her fuck buddies that she calls, none of them want to come over and help her. Which is sad to say when you live the kind of life that Samantha does. It's very realistic. That's the part they don't tell you about, okay? You think you think that fucking around all these different guys is just, is la la land, because they're all gonna buy shit for you and take care of you and all that kind of stuff, But then, when you get older, when you get to, Samantha's age, the phone's not ringing that much. The show's not realistic in that sense, okay? The phone's not ringing that much. All right? these millionaires aren't inviting you to their yacht parties anymore, okay? And you realize, well, who do you have around here that can help me out? Nobody. Because everyone knows what you're like. And the guys that do want you, you don't want them. Trust me, you don't want them. Anyway, all right, so moving right along. Charlotte manipulates Trey to get him to buy expensive Chinaware for their wedding. He makes a little joke about like, oh, well, you know what? Yeah, if we buy these plates, then we're going to have to serve noodles at the wedding because that's all I'm going to be able to afford after I take out all those loans in China to pay for the dishes. He doesn't say it like that, but that's what I would have said. Anyway, she says she needs his, Charlotte's all about this wedding. She needs his guest list. He gives it to her, but he accidentally snuck in the fucking prenup papers in there. So now Charlotte takes offense. Oh my God, it's like we're already planning our divorce. And she has Miranda look it over. And Miranda says like, yeah, it looks, it makes sense, but it also says there's a clause in here that, if you make it to 5 years, then you get like 10% of $500,000 after that. If your marriage lasts 5 years. And if you have boys, you'll get an additional 100 grand. But if you have girls, you get nothing. And Miranda says, this is a negotiating thing. This is what they're asking for. You can always negotiate this with him, or his family, whoever wrote it, and to get for what you want. This is just a preliminary, thing. But still, Charlotte, just the idea of a prenup scares her. Of course it fucking scares you. It means you actually have to fucking work, doesn't it? Yeah. Holy fucking shit. Hard work, Charlotte. Man, she wouldn't know what that's like. All right. So anyway, there's a lawyer there in the restaurant with the girls, Miranda, Carrie, and Charlotte there, and his name is George. It's Josh Hamilton. Okay. Now, if you remember, I remember Josh Hamilton from this movie that came out in the early '90s called Alive. It was based on a true story. It's about those soccer players that were in a plane crash in the early '70s, and they crashed in the mountains of Chile. And they called off the search. They were stuck there. There was still a good amount of survivors. It was freezing there. So they had to resort to cannibalism in order to survive all the months that they were stuck on those mountains. And then finally, 2 of them got out of there, and they went down to the bottom of Chile, and they got help. Okay, but they had to walk like 70, 80 miles through snow and mountains to get some help, And Josh Hamilton played a guy named Roberto Canessa. And then Ethan Hawke played Nando Parado, and they were the guys that had to that got out of the crashed plane site and went to go get help. They almost fell off mountains. It was really really good movie. And it's a true story. I read the book. It's a wonderful story. I think Piers Anthony wrote it, and I read the book too. It's awesome. But it's just sad because I remember, they went south because they knew that Chile. Oh, that's right. They went west because east. They went east because they knew Chile was to the east. Okay, but they didn't know. But if they'd gone 2 miles to the west, there was a gas station there. Yeah, but I know it's sad, right? Anyway, so that happened. Yeah, that's why I remember him. And he was on that show, 13 Reasons, with the girl that kills herself and all that. He plays the dad of one of the main characters. But anyway, okay, I recognize him. Okay, so Samantha still can't get any of her fuck buddies to come over. She's calling everybody. They're all fucking turning her down. Meanwhile, Carrie's still thinking about Big, and she's smoking again because Aiden hasn't gotten back yet. So she's just smoking like crazy. And the thesis for this episode is going to be, can we have it all? Can we have it all? Can we have the perfect person, the person that has everything that we want? Looks, money, intelligence, great in bed, blah, blah, blah. The list just goes, can we have it all? Can we settle for less than that, or do we demand, or we're going to keep going until we get everything that we want, That kind of thing, all or nothing. Yeah, okay. So anyway, she calls Big because, you know why she calls Big, all right? And she wants to talk about what happened, how they had sex the other night, Carrie's like, it was just physical, we got into our instincts, it was all hormone related and stuff, and it cannot happen again, and, you're married, and, we need to be able to rise above the physical. He's like, I know I'm married, and can you honestly tell me it wasn't really good? It was pretty fun. Come on, Carrie, it was pretty damn fun. And she's like, but it was good. He's like, and can you rise above the physical? Well, it turns out she can't because they fuck again. He comes over to her place and they fuck again. Then they make a little small talk afterwards. Big's like, I can smell his wood chips in the sheets. your Paul Bunyan, Davy Crockett boyfriend of yours. Oh. Wow. And can you just think about that for a minute? She insulted her boyfriend. I mean, she was worse. She actually fucked another guy. But, he insulted her boyfriend. And she didn't stick up for him. Wow, Carrie, I'm starting to like you even more. Carrie's like, it'll be, this will be like a Bridges over Madison County thing. We can never do it again. That you ever seen that movie? That's with Meryl Streep and Clint Eastwood. That's the one movie where Clint Eastwood actually cries in it. And I don't know what's worse, that he cries or that he's like fucking 70 years old in the movie and he's crying over love. He falls in love with a married Meryl Streep while her husband and sons are away. She has an affair with this photographer. It's one of those fucking movies that would have gone straight to Netflix today, but back then it actually went to the theaters. I saw that piece of fucking shit. I saw it in a fucking matinee. It's just one of those movies that, talks about how good it is to cheat on your spouse, for women to cheat on their spouses. You're never going to see a movie that shows how great it is for a guy to cheat on his spouse because that would never happen in real life, would it? No, of course not. It's just the women that are allowed to have fun cheating on their fucking spouses and boyfriends again, not the men. If the men have fun cheating on their wives and spouses, they're always the bad guy, they're always an asshole, and they always get killed at the end. All right? Or they get fucking shot in the nuts. Or they get kicked in the nuts like Dennis Quaid did and something to talk about. Okay, something horrible always fucking happens to them because they're fucking assholes. They're fucking jerks. But when a woman cheats on her husband or her boyfriend, she's empowered. She's exploring her sexuality. It was a mistake. I got caught up in the passion, like shit like fucking Notebook and stuff, Get the fuck out of here. I want to see a movie where the guy cheats on his spouse and fucking, and it's depicted as a positive thing, Let's see some of that. We're not going to see that shit. Because women watch these fucking movies and they don't want to be portrayed as the bad guy. It's only the guys that can be the bad guy. Yeah, exactly. Anyway. So so that's going on here. George and Miranda, they're making out. George is there. That's like I said, Josh Hamilton. He's there. And I guess he's got a date with Miranda. Okay, so after Carrie has her conversation with Big, we switch over to George and Miranda. They have a date. They're making out. He cannot spend the night because he's got a plane to catch. He's actually going back and forth to Chicago. So he's got to go back to Chicago in the morning. He cannot spend the night. So they decide they're going to call each other, and they start doing phone sex. Now, for those of you that are young out there, okay, that are watching this video, this is something that we used to do. Now, phone sex, not so much. If you wanted phone sex back then, there was no fucking OnlyFans back then. None of that fucking shit, okay? You had to fucking call a 1-800 number, okay, that you found on the back of a fucking dirty magazine, okay? I never called that shit. But that's what you had to do. But apparently they're doing it for free. They decided to start talking. Now, something we did do back in the day, and we still do it today. The older people still do it a little bit. Those of you that are around my age, you probably still do this, okay? But we talk on the phone. I know, go figure. There was no texting back then. We actually talked on the phone. Go figure. We heard each other's voices, and we would start up conversations, okay? And because we were in the privacy of our own home, we could do whatever we wanted, you know? We could be in our underwear, we could drink, you know, we could have the TV on, you know, whatever. We could be doing whatever while we're talking to somebody else, you know? And sometimes, like when I'm talking to a girl, some of these conversations went on for hours, okay? Just talking to somebody. And it's such a cool thing. I wish people would do it again, but they don't. They don't do that anymore, you know? But, you know, we were talking on the phone. You know, and let our voices guide each other in the conversation, you know, and it was a really cool thing to do that you just don't see it anymore. We did it in high school, and then as young adults, we did it again. Now nobody does that anymore, unless you're like my age, because you know we're still relics of the past. But you know, it was something that we did back then. We actually talked on the phone for a long time, and it was so fun. And the shit we would talk about was about everything, just talk about everything. You know, it was really great, better than being on a date in a lot of ways. It really was. But we used to do that, so I can totally see, you know, Miranda talking to this guy for six hours and shit. Yeah, I've done that myself, you know. Not so much the phone sex. I wasn't jerking off when I did it, you know, because I'm sorry, I'm a visual person. I got to see something, I got to touch something in order to get turned on, and not just myself. I mean, I got to touch a person in order to get turned on, and so just talking on the phone wasn't going to do it for me. I got to see something, you know. But anyway, so they're doing that, and they start the phone sex thing going on. So, you know, of course, you know, fucking Miranda starts diddling her daddle, you know, starts putting a coin in the jukes box, starts double clicking her mouse, you know, starts putting the finger of love. Yeah. So she's doing that while she's talking to fucking Josh Hamilton. It's just stupid. I don't know. You ladies do some weird ass shit, you know. I could never jerk off to phone sex. It just, I can't. I just, no. And I got, like I said, I got to touch something. I got to see something. All right. So Miranda's trying to jerk off to George on the phone, but all of a sudden, her other line 2 starts ringing, and she actually takes the fucking call. Are you out of your fucking mind? She's in the middle of having phone. She's not watching porn. Okay, well, you can just pause it. She's fucking talking to another fucking human being, trying to jerk herself off, you know, trying to fucking do her shit, and the other phone rings, and she's like, oh, damn it. Hold on a second. Okay, yes, okay. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's Charlotte, of course. Like, why the fuck? Just call Charlotte back. What the? Don't answer the fucking phone. Get your fucking nut, and then you call her back afterwards. What the fuck? It's fucking unrealistic. God damn it, this is coming from a bitch who cannot fucking stop jerking off when her fucking son's pounding on her door trying to have a conversation with her. She don't even stop jerking off then, but yet if the phone fucking rings and she's jerking off, she's gonna fucking put the guy that's fucking turning her on hold so she can talk to somebody else and do this back and forth. Are you out of your fucking mind? It's stupid. All right. So the reason Charlotte called was because she's panicked because Trey says Trey's mom, Buddy McDougal, yeah. And the reason her name is McDougal, okay, is because I found out that the guy that directed this episode, his last name is McDougal. Okay, that's why they came up with that name. It was like an in-joke. McDougal, getting the director, McDougal, and so, yeah. So anyway, so Charlotte's panicking because Trey talked to his mom. His mom makes all the decisions. Like I said, and I caught that last episode. His mom's the boss, okay? She tells Trey what to do. And, it was her idea for the prenup. Trey's mom will not negotiate on this prenup. So Charlotte's fucking shitting herself now. Okay. So anyway, when Miranda gets back on the phone with George, he already came. So it's like, show's over. I'm done. Now I got to get you off. Okay. Yeah. And then I'm gonna take off your clothes. And then I'm going to take off your shoes. And then I'm going to take off your underwear. And then I'm going to take off your... Yeah, that kind of shit. I've never listened to it. That don't mean I ain't done it. Okay, anyway, it ain't about me. Not about me. All right, moving right along. Carrie goes to visit Samantha. She's smoking. Samantha is really, really sick. I mean, she's sneezing on Carrie and shit. No makeup. She looks like shit. She feels like shit. She's all fucking depressed. So we see some vulnerability from Samantha, okay? And we see a lot of it here, okay? And I know it's probably the medicine talking and her fever talking and all that stuff, but I think we get a deep dive into what Samantha really believes. Now, I told you before, I think it was in the last episode, I told you about how Samantha wears this mask of sexual goddessness, like she's an expert on sex. She wears this, I think it's what she tells herself every fucking day, because she is getting older, she's in her 40s, she's older than the other girls, and she tells herself that she's some big fucking sex symbol, okay, like she's some fucking young Marilyn Monroe, and she's fucked everybody, and she knows how to do it perfectly, and she just fucks guys and doesn't give a fuck about them afterwards, She wears that mask. And she lives her life that way. But I think that you can only wear the mask for so long before you got to take it off, even if it's just for a little while. And I think her mask comes off here, literally. She's not wearing makeup. Her mask comes off here. And she starts spouting out a bunch of shit, which is actually not shit. It's probably the most realistic stuff I've heard her say. Because she's always talking about herself. She's always an expert on sex. She gives everyone else advice on sex. But in this instance, I think she's actually being human. She's actually going down to the core of who she is. We're all of us are human beings deep down inside. A lot of us, we wear these masks, okay, to cover up our insecurities, okay, or to project a certain image that we want people to see of us, okay? But behind that mask is still a normal person, okay? And the person that is the oldest inside of us is the child. All right, so usually the mask, what's underneath the mask is who we really are deep down inside. Even if we don't want to admit it to ourselves, it's really who we are. You know who the hell you are when you're put in a situation where you have to test it, okay? Like I was in boot camp in the Marine Corps. Okay, once you're in boot camp in the Marine Corps, okay, who you really are is going to come out, whether you're a coward or whether you're courageous. It's going to come out under stress, okay? And that's what Samantha's going through right now. The real her is coming out under stress, okay? And, and like I said, she's very sick. And she starts going into this diatribe. She says, I should have gotten married. Then I'd have a curtain that actually closes. Carrie, it doesn't matter how much you have. If you don't have a guy to share it with. If you don't have a guy who gives a shit about you. Then it doesn't mean shit. Achoo! Yeah, and Carrie says the flu turned her into Charlotte. Samantha, yeah, I go back to that scene at the beginning of this episode where she's like, we have everything, We have great sex, great apartment, great jobs, great friends, great food. Remember all that? She has a lot of stuff, I keep thinking about that saying, for someone who has everything, she has nothing. There's nothing funny about that. There's nothing to praise about that. For someone who has everything, she's got nothing. And she really doesn't. She's got her friends. How long are they going to last? Okay, one of them is already getting married. How long is it before the other two leave too? She's got no kids, no boyfriend. She doesn't talk to her family. Her friends that's it. She doesn't even have any friends outside of her girlfriends. She's got nothing. This is her role model. This is Samantha. This is who she really is. Nobody can even be bothered to come help her put up her curtains. It's a pretty lonely life. And I don't envy her. She says this is what she wants, but you get what you want. A world where you don't give a shit about people, just about, getting your own orgasm. Because that's what she is. She's the kind of girl that just cares about getting off. This is how you end up. If you spend your whole life only thinking about yourself, you're going to end up being the only one who does. And it's nothing to be proud of. It's nothing you want to shout out, Anyway, Samantha goes back to her diatribe. There's two kinds of men in this world. The ones that'll hold your hands and the ones that just fuck you. And the guys who just fuck you are worth a shit. Carrie, we're all alone. Yeah. I couldn't have said it better. You said it. You took the words out of my mouth, Samantha. Took the words right out of my mouth. I agree, 100%. Two kinds of people. Yeah, there's two guys. There's the ones that give a shit about you and the ones that you fuck. And it's sad. And it's sad, but it's true. It's true. I think we all go through three phases of marriage. You know, I think the first time you get married, it's with your high school crush or your first love. You know, you're optimistic. The future's right ahead of you. It's all about love and the feelings and happily ever after. Okay. Your second marriage is more like, okay, it's more practical. Okay, well, can we afford a house? Okay, do we have insurance? You know, IRA plans, you know, all that kind of shit. Can we afford to go to Italy every year? Are the kids in school? You know, can we do this? Can we pay off? Can we buy that house? You know, can we get homeowners insurance? Do we qualify, you know, for these tax breaks? You know, can we do all this stuff? If we can, let's make it work. You know, that's your second marriage. Your third marriage is you're just fucking old. You look like shit now, and you just want someone to go to the fucking movies with. Okay, someone you can talk to when you're watching fucking Golden Girls. Okay, you know that's your third marriage. Okay. Okay, moving right along. So the girls get invited to, I guess, the party that Trey's having, a party, engagement party. Charlotte's there. So she still has not signed the prenup. So they kind of give her a little confidence boost to go talk to Buddy, because Buddy McDougal's there. The girls meet Buddy McDougal, Trey's mom, and she confronts her, and basically she plays hardball. She's like, okay, well, you know, this isn't good for me. This prenup isn't good for me. I think I'm worth more than this. She's like, well, that's what's standard in our family. He's like, well, it would be a shame, you know, if the wedding didn't go off as planned, you know, if it didn't really happen the way we wanted it to, you know, because then I know Trey would be heartbroken. And Buddy McDougal, okay, what do you want? I want $1 million. So she played it right. Gold digger 101 right there. Great job, Charlotte. You've proven that you're a fucking superficial fucking cunt. You've proven it. Gold digging cunt. And I liked you, Charlotte. But yeah, for a woman who's stupid, that was a pretty well played. Anyway, okay. So Carrie and Aiden are in bed. Big calls, so she lies and pretends it's Miranda, and she says, oh, let me take your dog Pete out for a walk. She goes down there. Of course, she's smoking. Big is there. They're talking. You know, she says, she's like, you just want it all, okay? You want me and you want her. You want to fuck me when you want to, but you want to go home to your wife and fuck her too. He's like, no, I just want you. That's what Big says. I just want you, Carrie. I'm going to tell her tonight. I'm going to leave her. And Carrie's like, you can't just come back into my life and fuck it all up. And he's like, there's two of us here that have been doing all the fucking, Carrie. It's not just me. You know, anyway, she loses the dog. The dog gets away, so now she's chasing the dog. Pete! Pete! She's running through New York looking for the dog, chasing after the dog, and Big's chasing after her. You know, it's like that fucking scene from My Best Friend's Wedding, you know, at the end, where fucking, what's her name? Cameron, what the fuck's her name again? Cameron Diaz is running, and fucking Dermot Mulrooney's chasing her, and Julia Roberts chasing him, and fucking, what's his name? The gay guy, he's like, hey, who's chasing you? You know, Rupert Everett. Who's chasing you? You know, it's like that. So she's screaming Pete, and Big screaming Carrie. And anyway, the dog gets away. She gets pissed off. Don't ever see me again. Goodbye. So he leaves. Anyway, she comes back, and Aiden smells cigarettes on her. Have you been cheating on me? She's like, no. Well, yeah, I have been. He's like, are you going to quit? She's like, yeah, I don't know, mate. He's like, okay, I hope so. He hugs her. She's wet. Her nipples are showing. And she's like, well, I mean, she's like, are you going to stop? She's like, yes, I'm going to. And she meant it too, but that's how it ends. So we'll see what happens. So she wants to quit fucking Big, but she doesn't really want to quit fucking him. And Aiden is still in the dark. All right, so that was the review for this episode of Sex and the City, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching this long.